Hello. I'm not sure how this works with me just sharing a screen. That looked like it worked. Let's go from there. Right, short and sweet this week. No one to do it with me. Hopefully you can see the data full screen and I'll voice over it. I'll have to watch it back and make sure it works after. Right, so Mystic Smeg. She's been getting a bit of bother on the Discord this week, but that's another story we'll come back to. So things that we need to check. So yeah, it tells me centre back scores at Highbury. So obviously 4 starting options there. Maybe it could be a sub. Not really letting that enter my thinking. I haven't actually picked my team yet because it's been a mad one this week. But we'll go from there. Right, I'm off to get my fringe cut. I saw someone thinking RIO. Could that be Rio? Could it be someone with a haircut? A Beckham? I don't know. Someone needs to figure that out and put that on the Discord and share. One pen has been seen before, and 2 pens are brand new. I believe Gills put a picture up on the Discord today, which will show you who's had a penalty taker. And if you look at one of the previous sim data, you'll be able to see my suggested pen takers if you want to have a look for that. I'm sure a few will gamble on it. It's not a bad thing to do like last time. But then again, none of us picked Phil Babb, so whatever. It's lovely and clear this week, but I don't understand the message. Maybe you do. I haven't heard anyone speak about that one, so that needs to be figured out, and we need to talk about that again on the Discord. And 5 goalkeepers get a 4 or 5 rating, 2 are subbed off, whatever that means. So I think that could be obviously a few big scores within that. And then you've got the jumbled up writing on the right hand side. I can't remember who figured that out, but well done. They cracked that. That breaks down into 12 double upped Barry, Hendry, Stone, Crouch, Macaroni, Holdsworth, Johnson, Okocha, Carragher, Haman, Barros, Murphy. So these are looking at the 4 teams that are doubling this week. Starting with Villa. So you can see, again, Allback is safe for the 2 games. So that's a potential striking option. No Stone and Hendry in the midfield. So the new lad Kafour, whose data has been a bit pants, to be honest. His stats look all right. Really done well in any of the sims. Cash Law's playing 2 games, bit surprising. And then their defence is the same without Barry. So Lord Staunton for a double. Some people love him. Alpine does well for average ratings, man of the matches, and Dela Cruz isn't a bad player. And Mark Poon will play both. Looking at Middlesbrough, so top right hand corner, they will have the same exact team, but they won't have Macaroni. I presume they'll play probably Whelan up front in the second game. Again, some really good picks there. I think the 2 centre backs are really good, Ekyog and Southgate. Cooper can be on penalties as well. He's not a bad shout as well. He could be that new penalty taker. I don't like the keeper, but I think Middlesbrough defence this week is a strong play. All those midfielders are strong. Marileni, Windass, Boateng, Johnston. Johnston stands out, but Boateng does well in the sim data. Windass can go off, and Marinelli is a decent player as well. Boxic, again, is a very good option this week. Bolton, so annoyingly no JJ Okocha. I think people usually go for Pedersen, Okocha, Gardiner. So I suppose that windows down the midfield area. Tofting and Tomasek haven't actually done that bad in data. You can see that Johnson's not going to play 2 games, so I'd avoid him. If you're going for a defender, you probably want to go Gardner. Holdsworth not going to play. Gardner's data wasn't really good, though. I didn't see many. He might have scored 1 goal in like the 40 games. Not that many assists either. Armstrong did really well. Pedersen did really well. I think either one of the strikers or Gardner could be an option. But again, we'll look at this in a minute. You might actually not want to pick all the double teams, which we'll look at in a minute. This is the overall sim data. So you can see we've got the 2 added games at the bottom. So Arsenal v Leeds, not a great XG. I think even before I get into this, this is almost like the toughest week where so many of the XGs are really, really similar. You can see Bolton, Southampton, not that much difference. Charlton, Borough, very close. Fulham, Villa, close. Man City and Sunderland is exactly the same. Newcastle, Man United is pretty much exactly the same. West Brom, Tottenham is very close. And again, the doubles as well. Villa and Middlesbrough is super close. So it is tricky. Looking at, again, the first game, Arsenal look confident to beat Leeds. They won 15 out of the 20. Did quite good defensively with 29 half-time clean sheets and 12 in total. They did get 4 red cards, which is a bit of a concern. So I don't mind any of the Arsenal positions this week. I think you're probably not going to get the keeper simply because you'll probably go on one of the defenders due to Ashley Cole getting lots of 9 and 10 ratings and doing really well. Or obviously you might gamble on one of the centre-halves scoring. Player data-wise, Henry did really well. Again, 15 goals, lots of goals in this game. Lots of people burnt by him last week, but he is tempting. I need to figure out what I'm doing with my doublers first. Vieira has been strong, as he always is in those fixtures. So, again, some of the midfield options could be good. A 1.9 and 0.55 is, a defender, midfielder, attacker. Any of the 3 will work. Birmingham seem to score quite comfortably against Chelsea, so the clean sheets aren't great. If Chelsea do manage to get a clean sheet, they did get 6. Then obviously you're normally looking at your Babayaros and your Staniks. They're always an option. Birmingham didn't do too bad. Morrison did okay. I'm probably Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. We have quite a few goals there. 12. Johnson did quite well. But again, Johnson was the best on the assists. And then you've got the likes of Babayaro, Stanek, Lampard in there as well. Man of the matches, Chelsea coming out on top. Jimmy with the most. And Jimmy most for 10 to 9 ratings. Babayaro just behind him. So Jimmy and Babayaro, probably the 2 names that stand out most to me there. Bolton v Southampton. I thought Bolton would do better than this. 1.65 is a bit disappointing. I was hoping it would be mid-2s. Pedersen did really well. I've missed off Armstrong there, but he actually scored 9. So Pedersen and Armstrong did pretty much exactly the same there. Kocher and Gardner did okay for the assists. Again, dominating the man of the matches. Armstrong getting the most there, though, 4. And for the 10 to 9 ratings, Gardner just pipping him there. 3 pluses, okay. I've got to say that Chelsea are the best for the 3 pluses, despite being away from home. Bolton didn't win all of them. Only 11 wins. Clean sheets, 7-6 were hard to predict. Charlton Middlesbrough is close. 5 wins, 5 draws for Charlton, 10 wins away. Middlesbrough slight favourites. Man of the matches were close. 10 to 9 ratings were close. Goals, nothing electric. Again, on a normal fixture, I don't think you'd pick. I think you'd avoid that fixture. But obviously, with Middlesbrough having a second fixture, you might think about them. But again, if you look below, the 1.4 v 1.55 actually doesn't make it that exciting to pick a Borough player. Fulham v Villa. Again, this is a week where you wouldn't pick Villa away to Fulham. They're losing the majority of the games. 12 times they lost. No one particularly stands out well for data. Dublin did, but obviously he's not playing up front, so it's not really there. They didn't do well for man of the matches or plus datas. So Villa's a team you could potentially avoid on the double, especially knowing that even though they've got home fixture, they lose it slightly. But we'll look at this a bit more when we look at further data with the clean sheets and whatnot. Liverpool are dominant, but they always score low. So again, kept Everton down to 0.5, but only scoring a 1.8. They spread the goals around in Sims, Heskey, Biscan, Berger, Owen. So you can never tell who's going to. Lots of clean sheets, 12 in this game, and you can see they got 11 away to Bolton 2. They kept Bolton down to 0.8 and scored 1.9 away from home. You'll have a Liverpool player this week for sure. I don't actually think it matters if it's goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, or striker. Again, flicking back to those teams, obviously Barros isn't playing both of them, so Michael Owen is a strong candidate this week. Biscan has done really well in the data, so he could be an option midfield. So could Smeetser. Probably wouldn't pick Haman or Murphy as they look to be missing the second game. Carragher and Honcho always get picked. I wouldn't pick a Xavier. Carragher doesn't play the second game, and Dudek's obviously normally a strong pick too. Man City, Sunderland, and Newcastle, Man United. It's a tough game. It might be avoids each way. In the Man City one, 6 wins, 6 draws, 8 losses. In the Newcastle one, 7 wins, 3 draws, 10 losses. You can't predict who's going to win that game. And by not predicting, again, there were sometimes, I haven't got all the individual scores today, but sometimes it was a Newcastle 3-0 win. Sometimes it was a 4-0 win for Man U. And lots of times they were like kind of low scoring either way. So if you manage to pick it right, let's say you go for, I don't know, Sunderland and Man U, 2 away teams, and they both end up having one of those games where they score 3+ and they keep the other team down to a clean sheet, then you're laughing. But again, that fixture could easily go the other way. You could pick Sunderland and Man U, and it could be one of the games where Man City and Newcastle win. So that's a very tough call. They may be avoids. West Brom quite disappointing this week, actually. They only won 2 times at home, managed to keep Spurs to 8 draws. So Spurs aren't a bad away option this week. Again, Robbie Keane's data is always good. Red Rob did well. West Brom are quite low scoring. Spurs kept 6 clean sheets, so maybe one of the wing backs could be an option as well. Maybe you're looking at a Chris Perry penalty or something like that as well. So there are a few options there. West Ham a lot better than expected this week. Same in the amount of clean sheets, 5 each, but they got again 7 3+, which is pretty high this week. And Freddie Canute really stood out with 13 goals, and Joe Cole again in there as well. Cole and Canute obviously dominating the man of the matches and points there. Right, so hopefully we've covered all of that. A little bit on the doublers. So you can see, so I've just used the first score, which we've just looked at. So for example, there, the Fulham 1.95 versus the Villa 1.35. And we've got obviously the combined score. So Villa are 2.75 versus 3.5. So that's dangerous. They're looking to overall lose both games. So they could be an avoid. Do you really want to pick a team that you know are going to lose? You wouldn't do it for a single, so why do it for a double? Borough play away and away, and they do come out on top, 2.95 to 2.45. So I think, yeah, you could look at a Middlesbrough one. I don't know whether, again, you're going to go box 6 midfielder or defender goalie though. Bolton, really good first game, but a poor second game. They come out losing 2.45 versus 2.85. Like I said, you could easily go a defender, but Southampton could score against them and Liverpool will score against them. And then Gardner gets nothing. Or you could pick it right. I don't know, maybe Van Armstrong and he scores in both games and you're doing well. So some tricky picks there. Liverpool, I think you will pick. They're a 3.7, very a 1.3. Again, just are we going to pick attackers, midfielders, defenders? That will be your choice. Clean sheets and 3+. So you can see Liverpool are very strong on the clean sheets. So maybe, again, Liverpool defender is the safest option here. Middlesbrough not far behind. So I think most will have a Liverpool or Middlesbrough defender this week would be my guess. Arsenal aren't a bad shout as well, especially with that penalty mix as well. So maybe you could have, Middlesbrough as an away defender and Arsenal as a home defender. That may be a popular choice. Bolton are right up in there as well. Easy to pick Gardner with 2 games where he could do really well. So maybe you go for more the Bolton and Middlesbrough route. Bolton are at home. Yeah, so you've got to choose between Arsenal, Liverpool, Bolton at home. That could be tough. Middlesbrough slightly ahead of Man U. Man U are there. And Villa not far behind as well. So maybe actually Middlesbrough, Man U, Villa, a flick between all those. Single game week, so don't forget the likes of Chelsea. Again, that's even though they're low down on the list, we know what Babiaro is like in this game. Tottenham, I've said, could be well there as well. And that'll be about it. Half-time clean sheets, that's kind of the same again, but it just shows you kind of how much further ahead Liverpool, Middlesbrough and Bolton are of the others. Villa not as strong compared to those guys, so maybe again Villa defender not the way forward. 3 pluses, Chelsea. I think look for a Chelsea player this week. Liverpool high up on it as well, and Villa. So maybe if Villa defence isn't good, is a Villa striker the way to go? Liverpool, is this the week where we pick Owen and he does better than a Honcho or Hippier? West Ham have done really well. Is that a Canute hat-trick? Fulham, I expect to beat Villa at home. So don't forget about them. Obviously, they should be a better pick than Villa overall, really. And then a few others that have done well. Bolton, Borough, Arsenal are strong choices as well. Weekly stats. So top goal scorers at home, Henry and Pedersen with 15. Henry doing that in a single game week. Canute as well. Armstrong did really well. Heskey, Owen and Barros spread it out. Clinton Morrison up there. Heskey again. Sorry, that's because I did the first game week and then didn't delete him when he scored 4 or whatever in the second one. Patrick Berger's not a bad shout there. And then again, don't forget the likes of Shearer, Vieira. You see Biscan in there. I've mentioned him. Don't forget about him being in the top scorers in the Liverpool midfield. Joe Cole. So the good players there. Away scorers, Boxic just coming out on top. As a single game week player, it's Jimmy, Floyd Hasselbank and Robbie Keane that are up there, followed by Rude. Doublers, Dublin, high marks. Whelan, pretty good as well. Kinsella and Alan Johnston, the postman, doing well. Boateng doing well. Again, more single game weekers. Forlan, Good Johnson, Rebrov, they're all solid picks well. And you can see some of the 4s in there, your Hendrys, Hadris, Rainers, Macaronis, and so on. Home assists, Liverpool dominating this. Joe Cole, very good as a single game week player. Vieira, pretty good too. Tofting, obviously, getting in there as well. Likes of Okocha, not quite as high as what you'd expect. And again, no sign of Gardiner in any of those, I'm afraid. Away assists, the postman slightly out ahead. Boateng does really well. Rayner, again, as a single game week player, has done really strong. Idigan Johnson was pretty good. Hignick in the West Ham Blackburn game. Beckham's always around there. Man of the matches, Henry on top. Rayner and Hippier, probably your next 2 standouts, and Jimmy and Shearer were there, even though Shearer, I don't believe, plays in that game. Looking at your XG, so wins as well. So most confident in Liverpool this week. Borough have got 20, but that's 2 games. Bolton Villa, again, it's 2 games. Arsenal, very confident with Arsenal win. Chelsea, high. Fulham, West Ham, pretty high. And then you get low. So these are where I see Leeds, Everton, West Brom, Birmingham, Southampton, Blackburn are probably avoids me. Charlton, probably the same. Sunderland and Man City, that'll probably be my limit of I'll probably avoid that. And anyone above Spurs, Man United, West Ham and above are fine to pick in my eyes. So best home goals is Fulham. Then it's Arsenal, Liverpool, West Ham, Bolton, Newcastle, Birmingham, Man City, Charlton, West Brom. So Bolton not too bad in that one. This is just for the first game. I did not include their second game in this part of the data. Liverpool, expected to concede the least at home. Arsenal, Bolton, West Ham, Man City, Fulham, Charlton. So that's how you may look to put your defence together. Away, again, expected goals and then expected goals against. Chelsea, first and third in both those columns. Spurs, second and second, which shows they're a good pick. Middlesbrough, second and fourth. They're strong. Man United, third and fifth. So those are probably your options there. Villa quite low down in those lists, but again, they've got a home game being Middlesbrough second, which does then increase that. Right, I think that's it for me. So I will end the stream, talk about it, see how you get on. I don't know what my bloody team is.